Hello everybody, my name is Jasmine aka Marisol, and today we're doing something a bit different than usual. Today I'm not going to teach you a single knot, but how to make a small Norigae that I posted on my Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me if you haven't already. But yeah, this is the Norigae we're making today. It's pretty simple, but before we take a further look into it, I want to tell you something different as well. I don't know if you've seen it already, but I'm wearing a traditional Korean hair tie called a dengi. I know I normally do knot tutorials, but recently I've also gotten a bit into sewing, so I was wondering if you'd like a tutorial on how to make this as well. Just let me know in the comments. Okay, but now back to the actual Norigae we're making today. It's nothing too fancy. Let me introduce you to all the knots that we'll be doing today. So the first one up here is the do래매듭 or Korean X knot. Following is the 생쪽매듭 or Clover-Knot. Another 도래매듭. Then a big 국화매듭 or Chrysanthemum-Knot. To be exact, since it has one more loop than we do usually, it's called a 세벌국화매듭 or Threefold-Chrysanthemum-Knot. Then we'll add some details with white string. It's not really knotting, it's just like threading through. Then we have another 도래매듭 or X knot, and at the end just some simple knots for the tassel. Now then, what do we need to make this Norigae? First of all, we need a 180 centimeter long piece of string. This one is braided nylon cord and it's 2 mm thick. I'm linking which one I'm using down in my description. Also be careful when you choose the color. This will be the blue part in this example. Then you'll also need an 80 centimeter long piece of string for your accent color. In this case, this would be where the white color is right now. You'll also need some scissors, a lighter, and optionally you could use an awl. I just used this to pull the string while I'm pulling the knots tight. You can do everything with your hands. This is what I did first as well, but this just hurts my hands less. Start off, take your 180 centimeter long piece of string and fold it in half so that the ends are at roughly the same length. Now the very first thing we're gonna do is measure our top loop. So this one up here. If you want to just put your Norigae on a keychain, this can be very short, but if you want to hang it onto any other stuff like your belt and stuff, I recommend the size of about like 6 to 8 centimeters. I'm just gonna measure 6 centimeters right now, and then we can start with our first knot. The first knot is called the 도래매듭, or as I call it, the Korean X knot. To start off, take your bottom piece of string and fold it behind the other one to create a loop like this. Then take that exact same string and pass it through the loop from the front. Now you can pull down here to close up this loop up here and create this new loop that you can just push to the side to hold it in place better. If it's a bit too big, you can just pull a bit on the string to make it smaller. Then you'll take the other thread and form another loop that goes behind this loop we have here right now. And then take that exact same string and pass it through both of the loops from the front. Now take the string that we worked with first and pull tight. Then let go with your left hand, let the loop fall down and pull tight on the other string. If you've done everything correctly, you should have this kind of X shape. Now before I pull this very tight, I'm gonna check once again if it's still at the 6 centimeters I have. For me it's roughly there, so I'm just gonna pull tight. If it isn't there for you, you can just like wiggle it around a bit to the point you actually want it to be at. And this is our first knot done. Continuing, I'm gonna hold my thread vertically because we're gonna continue with the 생쪽매듭 or Clover-Knot. To start off, take the left string and instead of crossing it over to form a loop, just squish it together into a loop like this. Just holding it together down here. Then you take that very same string and from the front wrap it once around that loop so that the loop down here and the string align, so you can pinch it together with your index finger and thumb, something like this. Then you take the right string, also squish it into a loop, and then you pass that loop through the very first loop, like so. Pass it through, pull a bit more string into it, because then you want to take your right index finger and thumb and go through this loop that we just pulled through, grab the loop on the bottom and the rest of the string that we held with our left hand, pull it through like halfway, and now you should see that I kind of have this shape over here where there is like a circle cut in half, and there's this hole over here, so like the top half of the circle. And we're going to take our right string and from the back push our string through there, like so. Just pull that through. Now again comes the hardest part, pulling this knot tight. Just let go of everything, let that flip over here, and then if your eye is a bit trained, you can already see what's happening. If not, you can just pull a bit on the strings, on the start, and then you'll slowly start to see that there's kind of like a square forming in the middle, and on the sides there are two loops sticking out. Again, just a reminder, as I said at the beginning of the video, I have very slow in-depth tutorials on these knots on my channel, so if that was too fast you can just watch those. But yeah, this is what it's looking like right now. Don't worry about the very big loops, just pull everything tight so that we can work with it. So you're not going to open it up ever again tight, but tight enough so that everything stays in place. Also, always look at the back, because we want both sides to look equally good. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. So the issue we're having right now is that there's some string in between our 생쪽매듭 or Clover-Knot and the 도래매듭 or X-knot. So what I want to do from start to bottom, I want to pull the string through the knot so that I can eliminate the string over here and in the loops. This is a bit easier if you're already used to these knots, but basically I'm just looking where the string goes into the knot and where it goes next. If you're not sure where it goes next, you can just like test pull a bit here and there to just see where stuff moves. But yeah, let's just start with that. Also make sure that while you do that, you also pull the other end tight in between so that nothing moves out of place or falls apart. When you're done, your knot could look something like this. Now moving on to the next knot. The next knot is just gonna be another 도래매듭 or Korean X knot. So I'm gonna hold my string horizontally again and do the exact same thing. So form a loop behind the other string. Take that exact same thread and pull it through this loop from the front. Pull or push that loop down and to the side. Then take the other string, form a loop behind the first loop, take the exact same string and pull through both of the loops. Start pulling tight by pulling on the very first string we used. Then let go of the stuff, let the loop fall down, and pull on the other string. Oops, I didn't pull enough, but should lay like this. Now you can see that my X is not close enough to my 생쪽매듭 or Clover-Knot, so I'm just gonna wiggle that a bit towards there. The key to this is like pushing in string from the left side, so where you want the knot to move closer to, and then pull on the ends to get the extra string out the knot. And if it's close enough, you can just pull it tight. After doing the second 도래매듭, I always like to go back into my 생쪽매듭 and either pull on the loops on the outside or just like poke through with my awls to make sure that everything is very, very tight, like so. Then we can move on to the hard piece of the Norigae, which is this 국화매듭 or chrysanthemum knot. But this is not a normal 국화매듭, it's a 세벌국화매듭 or a threefold chrysanthemum knot. That just means that we're doing a bit more loops than we usually would do, so that we have more petals in the end. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it, but if you already know the tutorial for the chrysanthemum knot, you're on a good way to doing this one. So I'm gonna hold my string vertically again, and I'll start by taking my left string and wrapping it around my index and middle finger 3 times. Let's do that once again. Your knotted part is down here. You start at the back of your hand around your index and middle finger 1, 2, 3. Make sure that you make these loops big enough because we'll need some space to knot. Then I pass through with my index finger, pinch everything with my thumb so I can hold it in place with my left hand. Just to check in, your knotted part is down here. Your loops go around your index finger 1, 2, 3, and the rest of the string comes out of the back like this. If you have that, we're gonna take our right string, form a big loop with this one, and kind of pinch the crossing part also between our middle finger and index finger. Then I'm gonna take the top part of this loop and wrap it once around those 3 loops. If you don't know what I mean by grabbing this top part of the loop, you can also just flip it once towards you and then put it over all 3 of those loops. That's also possible. But I'm gonna just do it like I said, so grab this part and wrap it once around the 3 loops. Once you're down here, just flip the loop once away from you so that this part down here is crossed. Then we're gonna take our left string, so the one that comes out of the back of our hand over here. We're gonna pass it from the left side through the 3 loops. But just pass that through there. Put it underneath your right string. From the back, go through the loop down here. And then, this time from the right side, go through the 3 loops again. if you have that, you have understood the main principle of our next steps, because we're gonna repeat this a couple of times. So first of all, I'm gonna flip open my loop again. If your loop has gotten too small, just pull in a bit more string. Then again, take the top part, wrap it once around the 3 loops, down here, flip it once away from you. Just make sure everything stays in place. Then you take the left string again, from the left side go through the 3 loops, underneath your right string, from the back through this loop down here, and this time from the right side through the 3 loops. Okay, and now everything just one more time. Flip open the loop. You can take a bit more string if you need. Just take the top part of the loop, go once around those 3 loops up here, and then at the end flip them once away from you. Whoops. If it moved away from the 3 loops, don't worry, you can just like put it over again like I'm doing right here. Okay, and then once again with our left string through the 3 loops from the left side. Then, oh, I just grabbed that by accident. But then underneath our string on the right side, through this loop down here, and from the right side through these 3 loops. Great, first half done. Now you can take out your index finger, and we want to move our knot like this. Now you can see those 3 loops over here that we've talked about the whole time. Just make sure that they're aligned nice, that they don't cross over each other somewhere. And then we're gonna go with our index finger in between the loop on the bottom and the one above it, so loop 1 and 2. Just wiggle your finger in between there and through the middle of the rest of the knot. Let's just pull it apart a bit more. Something like this. Then you should see that you have those 2 loops, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strings going vertically right now. And we want to start weaving our string down here into that. What does that mean? We'll start by going underneath the first one, then go over the second one, underneath the third one, over the fourth one, under the fifth one, and over the sixth one. Something like this. I know that sounds more complicated than it actually is, so let's just do it. Go under the first one, over the second one, then go under the third one, over the fourth one, and underneath the fifth one. Nice. Should look something like this. Now we're doing something very scary for beginners. Just place your right hand over your knot and flip it. The other side might look a bit messy right now, but let's find our anchor points. So basically we have those same 3 loops here in the back. 1, 2, and 3 down here. And then we're just going to do the same thing. So from the left side, wiggle our left index finger through the knot and in between the loop on the bottom and the one above it. Now before we start doing the weaving in process again, I want you to take your thread that we just worked with, should be on the right side of the knot right now, and you pull out the second loop over here. So here's the very first vertical string crossing it, and you want to pull out this bit of the loop. and from the top pass through with your thread. And then we're weaving again, the same as before, but this time we'll start by skipping over the first one, going under the second one, and so on. So skip first one, go under the second, skip the third one, go under the fourth, skip the fifth one, and go under the sixth. Perfect. Now we flip our knot to the other side again. This time we'll wiggle in between the two loops that are left over up here. If you have made your knot tight, this might be a bit difficult, but I'm sure that you can work with it. So this time we don't have to pass through anything before we weave in. So let's just start with the weaving right away. So go under the first one, over the second, under the third, over the fourth, under the fifth, and ignore the sixth one. Something like that. Once again, flip the knot to the other side. Same thing again, those two loops up here, wiggle in between them. Now we need to pull out our top loop again to the side over here, pass through the top with our string, and then weave in again. Skip the first one, go under the second one, over the third, then under the fourth, over the fifth, and under the sixth. Congratulations, the knotting part is done. Now I like to hold it like this when I'm trying to pull it tight. You can first pat down a bit. Then you can already see that we kind of have a square with a net structure in the middle. And now we want to find the loops on the outside so that we can pull on them. So you can see those two sticking out on the side. Those are definitely two loops. But we'll need to find some more. And how you find them is when you look at the square and the net structure, there are always those kind of bumps showing up at the side, and those are our other loops. So those two over here, those two down here, and then if you're not sure somewhere, you can also flip to the other side, and maybe it's easier to see there. But I definitely think it's this one. And then it should be, no, not that one. This one over here looks about right. Now, your knot might look a bit messy right now, but that's no problem because we're gonna fix that in a second. Because we're doing the details on this knot, what I want to do right now is not pull the knot tight yet. I'll start the same process as I did for after when we've pulled tight the 생쪽매듭. We rearranged the knot a bit so that the loops weren't as big, and I'm gonna do the same thing for this one, just making sure that I'll have a square shape in the middle and that it's not too tight yet. It should be very airy. I'm gonna just do it and show you in a second what it looks like. Okay, in my case it looks something like this. I know it's not too tidy, but it's good enough to work with. Because now we're going to take our other string, should be 80 centimeters long, and the first thing I'm gonna do is fire the ends and then carefully form them into more of a spike, kind of needle-like shape. Please be very careful with your hands while you do this, because this is very hot and can easily hurt your fingers. I just don't want the string to fall apart when we move it through the knot. If you have that, let's look at our knot. So basically what I want to do to create this kind of pattern is to create some loops and then move it in between the knot. You can see this one has gotten a bit thicker, and then I want to slowly create this kind of flower shape. Let's just start that, because I want the string to come out at the end again. I'm start to loosen up the knot a bit over here, down here, where one end of our string comes out. And I'm going to move in between the two sides of the knot. Be careful that you don't pass through anything. And I'm going to move my string out up here. When you look at the pattern of the knot, where I want to come out is like the very top. So maybe it's easier to understand if I show it on this Norigae. We also have the pattern over here, right here where the very first strings cross. In between that, then we want to put our string. So over here into the very first square, you could also say. I'm just doing that by like shoving my awl through it. You could do that with a chopstick or a needle, or you could just use your hands to loosen everything up a bit and make your way through the knot then. Then from the bottom to the top, I'll just pass that through. I'm gonna just pass it through until there's like a good bit of string left at the end. I just did that by eye measurement, but my piece is around like 14 centimeters long. Then we want to go to the next square over here and pass that through there. I know where to insert the string, but I don't really know where to go out again. And let's think about that. So I always need like 2 squares to create a loop, to create a petal. And so to make this with not wasting too much string and the form looking good, I want to do it on opposite sides. But I also need to think about that when I go to the opposite side, there must be enough squares in between so that I can always make a petal without crossing one square 2 times. So let's just think about it. So these 2 are reserved for the first petal. Then I have 1, 2 for the next. 1, 2 for the next. 1, 2 for the next. And down here, I could start with another petal. So let's just do that. So from here, go down through the very bottom. Just take the string from the top, pass it into here and out down here. Like so. Just leave a bit of string for a petal. And now it's easier because here we're just gonna go into the next square, and then we're just gonna go up here into the square next from the petal we just made. Now we're just gonna repeat that exact same process a couple of times. And then when we're getting to the last petal, so the last time we pass through, we wanna go through our last square and Down here we want to go out also where string comes out, but not the one we chose previously because there already is some string, but the other side. So just exactly where the rest of the red string passes through, put the other string also through there. Okay, now if you realize that you have way too much string on one side than the other, I would recommend at least having like 14 centimeters left on the string so you can do the rest of the Norigae comfortably. If not, you can just like pull the string through the loops again so that everything is how you want it. I'm just gonna readjust it a bit because I'd like a bit more string over here. Since I pulled a bit, there isn't much left. Once everything is to your satisfaction, we will just start by pulling on the loops of the red knot to make it tight. Just take your time, pull tight as good as you can. Try to pull evenly so nothing becomes like out of proportion. And now it's just a slow process of like pulling tighter and tighter, rearranging your string so that the loops become the size you want. Just take your time with that. It will also take me a bit of time, so I'm gonna just see you in a second. Now that I'm done, mine looks something like this. This one is not perfect, but that's alright because it's just for a tutorial. But you want your backside to be as even as possible, the loops as well. And now the only thing that's left to do is to also adjust the loops of the petals to the size you want them to be. You just walk through them and pull as you see fit. And congratulations, then you're done with the centerpiece. Now to finish off this Norigae, I want to take it vertically again because I want to do another dorämädep or X knot. And I'm gonna do the knot with the red string, but I want the golden string to be in between the knot. Just hold on and let's do this. Take the bottom red string and wrap it once around everything so that you create the loop. Then take that exact same string, pull it through that loop, and either pull on it or just push it down and to the side. Then we'll take the other string that we haven't used right now, form another loop. Take this exact same string that you just used and pull through both loops from the front. Then pull on the string we worked with first. Afterwards, let go of the loop up here, let it fall down and pull tight. Now again, my knot is very far from the chrysanthemum knot right now, so I'm just gonna wiggle it up. Make sure to also pull on the gold string so that you don't form any loops by accident. Like so. Then one more thing I'm gonna do before I pull tight is I kinda like to lay those like in order so that it's gold, red, and so on. And then I pull my dorämädep very tight. And now we'll make the tassel part, or rather finish it up, because there's not much to do. So as you can see down here, we'll just make a kind of knot at the bottom. It looks like a dorämädep a bit, but if you flip it to the back, you can see that it's actually not, because there's no X shape on both sides. I don't know if there's any specific name for it in Korean, but if you know, write me in the comments. How long you want the tassel to be is up to you, but for like this one that I made, I chose a tassel length of about 2 centimeters, including the knot at the bottom. So let's just start by grabbing one of the strings, doesn't matter which one you go with first. Take that string, wrap it around your index finger once and twice. Then you loosen that up a bit so that you can take the string and pass it through those 2 loops from the left side, like so. Just pull. Take out your index finger. If it's like this, don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. You just need to flip the loop back up over the other one so that we have the X shape. Then I'm slowly starting to pull on the knot. I'm measuring in between to see if it's at the point where I want it to be. Just measuring right now. And once you have it where you want it to be, just pull it very tight. Now we're gonna continue that with all of the other strings. And once you've done that for each string, you'll just cut off the ends. Like so. Heat the end up with a lighter. And push it down onto the knot. Again, be very careful with your fingers while you're doing this so that you don't burn yourself. If anything got out of place while you worked on the Norigae, you can just readjust it. And this is it. If you've made it all the way, congratulations. This is not easy at all, especially when you're just starting out, so really celebrate yourself. If you didn't manage to make this, don't worry, it's nothing that you have to get right from the get-go. Also, for some people, it's just not for them, so please don't worry. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If it helped you, don't forget to give a thumbs up or maybe subscribe for more content. If you realize that making Norigae yourself is just not for you, you can also browse my Etsy or my Ko-Fi shop to find some Norigae and Norigae inspired items. You can also write me a message for custom artists. For example, you could just be like, hey, I saw this Norigae in your video, could you make one for me? Yeah, but once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next tutorial. Bye!